4 years after the events of the last film, Michael Myers is gone. Laurie Strode, the survivor of his attacks, has settled in the town of Haddonfield, living with her granddaughter, Allison. Laurie appears to be on the mend. Peace of mind in Haddonfield, however, will soon be in short supply. This movie is the last installment of the latest Halloween trilogy. The first movie was actually quite good. The second movie, however, was a mess. This movie, unfortunately, is even worse. This third entry of this retcon trilogy is not only the worst of the three by a fairly huge margin, it's also one of the entire series' weakest entries. If you watch all three movies, you get the feeling that the filmmakers have many ideas to expand from the first movie. Unfortunately, not only the next two movies really feels forced and unnecessary, the filmmakers don't seem to know which ideas that they should develop further. The notion that evil and violence have a quasi-spiritual influence on otherwise innocent people was dealt with a bit dubiously in the previous movie. But here, it takes on a far more literal dimension and results in a film that never seems to know what it is. What's worse is that this new idea that no one was asking for takes up much of the runtime, making the central conflict of Laurie versus Michael feel like an afterthought that's dealt with in a perfunctory way. To make it worse, this new idea of the killer's supernatural dimensions is half-baked and underdeveloped, as the movie doesn't have the courage to explore Myers' dual nature instead of only hinting at it. This movie leans into the last film's suggestion of Michael's supernatural transference without truly committing to such an exploration. As it stands, the storytelling feels like it's taking convenient shortcuts. The movie is not only stuck between giving fans the bloodshed they seek and presenting its own ideas, but also has no idea how to package them into a logical and cohesive story. It's a puzzling, sour slog, about 20 minutes too long and focusing far too much on the wrong characters. The return of Michael comes through Corey, a teen wrongly accused of killing a child. Because Corey is a new character and all we know about him is that he accidentally killed a kid and feels real bad about it, we don't care enough to be invested in his story, and yet it's the primary focus of the film up until maybe the last 15 minutes or so. He exists mostly so that a new aspect of Michael's now supernatural powers can be introduced, even though it should have been introduced since the first movie. The presence of Michael Myers eventually feels like checking a box. He's something that gets in the way of the story the movie really wants to tell about survivors and psychopaths. All roads lead to Laurie versus Michael fight for one last time, which is unfortunately also disappointing. Overall, this movie is not really worth your time. We do not recommend this movie at all.